My friends, I had a little bit of writer's block recently, and it was in producing the next couple of episodes for my podcast. Usually, this is a well oiled machine for me. I create the content, I look at my notes, I come up with the summary and the top takeaways. Lately, that's been a little AI assisted, but not really. And then I ship everything off. I do this within 48 hours of recording the episode. I had a bunch of episodes last week that I wanted to record or I had scheduled for recording for interviews. And so I thought, oh, I'll just do all of these at the same time. And I was lost. I felt something that I guess was demotivation or unmotivation towards completing these episodes. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it until I made a realization. A couple of weeks ago, my daughter had a substitute bus driver. And what the substitute bus driver doesn't know is that they arrive at the stop really early, like probably 7, 8 minutes before the actual pickup time. Now, the normal bus driver knows this, and so she'll wait a few minutes for us to get there. And so usually I'm not quite ready when she gets there, but I'm ready a few minutes after she gets there. Anyway, the substitute bus driver didn't know this and just blew right past the stop. We didn't even have a chance. And if my daughter misses the bus, then we have an extra hour really before we have to get her to school, which, the bus schedules notwithstanding, that's a lot of time. So I was thrown off a little bit by my normal morning process. I took her home. I fed my youngers breakfast. We left the house a little later than usual, and I dropped everybody off where they had to be. It wasn't until I got home that I realized that I forgot their backpacks and their water bottles. And I know what you're thinking. How could I possibly forget this? But I am outside of my normal process, right? I grab Teresa's backpack. I take her to the bus stop. I load everything else into the car and we roll out. I was out of that process. What does this have to do with podcasting, is what you're probably wondering right now. Well, last week I decided to try something different for note taking during the episodes. One of the process improvements I recommend is writing notes during the interview so that you don't have to go back and listen to the interview again. And I'm told most people have a hard time doing that. They can't type and listen. So this is a developed skill, but I thought, all right, well, maybe writing works just as well. And so I'm going to try this for the next few episodes. And I wrote the notes down in my notebook, and then I was completely lost because the Google document I generate is the source of truth for every episode. All of my edit notes are there, where I want the cold open or what quote or what timestamp I want for the cold open is there. General notes for links and interesting topics that I want to call out in the intro for the episode are all there, and they're all neatly typed, and I can search for them and I can cross-reference them with the transcript. But with the notes, they're kind of off to the side and they're not as organized, and I have terrible handwriting. And I'd either have to type them back into the Google Doc or just reference them. And that friction was enough to throw me off. So why am I telling you all of this? Well, I think that there are a couple of things to realize here. First, if you get into a process or a flow that works for you, don't let other people influence you or convince you into to saying or thinking, my process is so much better and you should do it. My friend Kat and a few other folks and I were talking about Notion templates or templates in general, and how they probably don't work for most people because it's how the person who made the template thinks about the problem. When you're creating a template, if you're giving it away for free, fine, I'm just going to give away the template I use. But if I'm going to sell a template, it needs to be a guided experience to help the person think about the problem. And just downloading someone else's template probably isn't going to work. For me, I thought I'd be more engaged. There would be less typing that needs to be edited out. And I'd, get to use my fancy pens more often if I wrote the notes down in a notebook. But what I found was I started typing in the document, in the Google document, the shared Google document with the guest, because that was canon for me, and that helped me process the interview so much better. So, as you're looking to improve your process, I would encourage you to do a few things. Consider the best way you work and leverage tools to your advantage. If you hear something that sounds interesting, give it a try, sure, but don't fix what's not broken. Or if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? You want to do what's best for you. Just like when I tried to change my process, it threw me off in a way that I didn't really expect. So instead, I switched to a less clicky keyboard, and I'm going to continue taking notes in my Google document. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. It's a little short, little kind of thoughts off the top of my head video. If you like it, leave a comment and subscribe. If you do want to get my templates that I just kind of talked smack on, you can head over to podcastworkflows.com and get my podcast planners to see how I think about the process, and maybe they will give you some inspiration as well. But again, thanks so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And until next time, I'll see you out there.